do you think about that?
Well, I'm a little bit puzzled because timing, in my own opinion, is faulty. There are things that are lawful but not expedient, and some things are expedient but not lawful. It may be lawful for you, you have a right to express yourself, you may have a right to demonstrate, but in this time, especially in the city of Abuja, there's tension, there's suspicion, and there's even undue harassment on innocent residents. Is that a time now that you are looking for a rally? Who's going to rally around you? To do what and for what purpose? Okay. What is the objective? And
timing.
The timing.
Talking about
in
timing.
My opinion,
is this the right time to talk about subsidy removal?
Even if we are talking about, if the Senate are, talking about subsidy removal, in the first instance, it's just that the issue of the internal litigation that came in early in this administration. Timing is of essence. It determines those who succeed and those who fail. We must gauge the nerves of the citizen. And that is my opinion. You must gauge the sign. Look at them. Is it when I should be talking about subsidy, when people do not even know what is the government program, when people do not even know what is even corporate projection for 2012, because this is September, and many companies are already working towards their program next year. So if there's going to be subsidy or talking about it, it's going to also affect their own analysis, and it's going to put them in a little bit in.
But it looks as if Labour seems to be saying actions and reactions are equal and opposite.
Yeah,
so if the government of the day is saying, well, we're talking about subsidy now, well, the equal action there or the opposite action. And so Labour in turn goes to do what they have to do.
You see, the problem I have with Labour is that Labour are never, in the last 10 years, even during the time of Oshomole, they are never proactive.
How do you mean?
Yeah, because they wait for government to, put in a bait before them, before they start reacting. And Labour seems to be for them to be relevant, they must be anti-government. For them to be relevant, they must say what government, be on the other side. No, you can be on the other side, but bring a constructive analysis, constructive criticism as to what you want to do or what you need. And let's also forget that we are no longer in military era. This is democracy. Let's learn to talk. Let's learn to dialogue. Let's learn to take advantage of media. Let's take advantage of internet facilities. Many Nigerians are there. Sound their opinion.
So how should we go about this in an ideal situation? Because even some couple of viewers had to ask that question to ask the secretary. Must you wait till a point where government will make a move on any kind of policy or kind of idea before you react? So in an ideal situation, how are we expecting, or what is expected of Labour rather, in an ideal situation?
But that is why I say that Labour are never proactive. The government, even government give them an assignment. When government go this way, Labour now, okay, what do we do? What do we counter? You should be able to gauge and say, all right, in 2 years' time, now this subsidy we'll be talking about, where are we now? What are we doing? Make a presentation, create a seminar, talk to people, get representative of various organizations, TUC, NUPENG, what have you, let them come in together, and we talk and we make presentations. And as you are doing so, the public must be carried along.
In other words, you say Labour can actually set the agenda for government.
You can set agenda for government, just like even the media, they write an editorial, they present a position, even that government never thought of. So they give a guide as to which direction should go based on their perception of what the public feeling is all about.
Okay, so what do you do if Labour gives those recommendations and government doesn't listen?
Oh, fine. That is why we are talking about under democracy. You have dialogue, you have lobbyists. And then it is when that fails, we now talk about legal option. For example, now Labour is talking about subsidy. Labour has not come out to tell us that there are Nigerians in this country today, there are Nigerian companies that are employing even Chinese, not only Chinese, but Chinese prisoners in their factories. And I'm yet to see Labour talking about that, how that will affect the life of average Nigeria. Labour has not come out to talk about the safety guards of the oil companies, how Nigerians have been exposed to various challenges. Labour has not come out to tell us what is happening to Nigerian banks that are sacking people without due process. Labour has not come to tell us that unionization there's a decree that if you have a number of staff, you must be unionized. And many banks are getting away with it. Many oil companies, during the time of Yar'Adua, and they were giving us 10% VAT when that's not been passed into law. And when it was reversed after the Labour strike, the same Labour did not come back and say MTN, Celtel, and what have you, reverse and give the people that 5% you have taken the last 2 months, running to over 5 or 6, 5 something billion. My organization will wrote them a letter you know, that you must return this money to Nigerians. Labour did not say anything about
there are
it.
loads of issues like this and people don't know about them?
Sorry?
So that means there are loads of issues like this that people still don't even know about them.
Exactly. And as far as I'm concerned, Labour is the government of is government picking. Is when the Papa says go this way, he knows, Daddy, I'm not going that way. It doesn't have a mind of his own. It does have his own agenda.
Well, Labour has its own end.
Yeah.
You are of the Industrial Consultative Initiative.
Yeah.
Let's talk about oil subsidy.
Yeah.
What's your opinion?
You see, I'm going to give you an unpopular position on oil subsidy. I am not against oil subsidy. I'm being withdrawn. Because in the first instance, the cartel are benefiting from oil subsidy. The government says it's subsidizing, and people are bringing oil into the country. Various vouchers are flying for people bringing maybe 10 metric tons and then making a claim for 50 metric tons and milking the same Nigeria. If the oil is going to be withdrawn once and for all, let's face it and move on. It's an unpopular position, but that is the way in. You may say that the government has not provided for housing, for health. That's where I expect the Labour to come up, that national health program should be, you know, is an issue. Because when a man knows very well that his health can be paid for, that of his mother-in-law, his father and aunties, then he has disposable income to spend in other areas, whether subsidy withdrawn or not.
How do we deal with the direct response or the direct impact of that? Because they say, Labour also, which you say is a government picking, if the fuel may go from 65 naira to 195 naira, some say as much as 200 naira. And you know what they say in this climate, whatever goes up barely comes down.
We've had this story many times, just like the same story government tells us years back during time Babangida that once we withdraw subsidy, it is going to be for transportation, for health, for all that. When oil subsidy is withdrawn, naturally there will be an increase in, there will be, you know,
A spiraling effect.
Spiral effect all over.
How do we handle it?
Oh, excuse me, simple. The oil has been withdrawn first, so nobody can tell us about oil subsidy anymore. So we now face the future. Three things has to be done. We, the members of the public, and the organized private sector